Brandi Benson was in the Army when she was diagnosed with an extremely rare form of cancer. Her book, The Enemy Inside of Me, is the story of her journey back to health. Brandi joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So we were just chatting. You were 24 years old and you found out you had this extremely rare cancer that I never even heard of. Tell us about your diagnosis.
All right. So I was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma cancer, and a sarcoma is a bone cancer or soft tissue cancer, and Ewing's is a soft tissue cancer. So it's literally in everything but the bone in that localized area. And if it does spread, it goes to the brainstem, the kidneys, the lungs, and your spinal cord. So it's very detrimental if you don't catch it in enough time. But I luckily was able to catch it in a very early stage.
And obviously, this was kind of, a very tough time for you.
Yes.
Tell us about that transition in the Army and going through chemo and healing.
So I was diagnosed when I was in the Army in 2009. I discovered it when I was in Iraq. So I was overseas, I was deployed, and I don't know, how it all came about, but I ended up coming up with like a large tumor, it's like the size of a grapefruit. And at first I didn't notice anything at all until I was like stretching a bit, and then I discovered it. I went from Baghdad to Germany, then to Walter Reed, and then they finally told me that it was Ewing sarcoma cancer. I did some research on it, and the prognosis was not good at all. And everybody basically just wrote me off and thought that, I was pretty much going to pass away and not make it. So I didn't want to give up on myself. So I just continued to fight, and I didn't want to listen to what the doctor was telling me or what they said my future was going to be. I just kept pushing on and persevering.
And now you are sharing your journey with the world.
Yes.
Your book is meant to be a source of inspiration for anyone going through trauma, a difficult situation.
Yes. So it's the enemy inside me is a metaphor. So, in life we all have adversities where we have a hard time, or there's some sort of addiction, or there's something that's not allowing you to be the best version of yourself. And that's kind of what this is implementing a bit. So mine just happened to be a rare form of cancer that was trying to take my life away, hence the enemy inside me. So it was just about, not allowing these adversities or these obstacles or these things that aren't set up the way you like it to take over, and for you to persevere and push through.
Was it hard for you to go back and reflect on that difficult period of your life?
Yeah, every time I read it, I cry a little bit.
Really?
I do, because it brings out the emotions again, and reliving it and remembering what my mother had to go through, and my nephew and my family, and just thinking about what everybody must have thought, watching me go through all of this. And I was so young, and I can't imagine my mother having to, watch me do this and potentially pass away. So it does bring back some raw emotion sometimes.
But you don't just have a book, you also have a foundation, an organization to help people going through this.
Yes. So the Brandi L. Benson, it's the initiative Brandi Benson. And it's, so just to bring awareness about sarcoma and early detection and how important that is, and mental clarity and health. And not only is physical fitness good for you, but mental fitness is very, very important. In any type of traumatic event, you need to be able to be mentally strong so you can persevere.
And before we go, just tell everyone where they can get your book and find out more about your initiative.
Yes, it is www.brandilbenson.com.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing your inspiring story with us. We appreciate it. We'll be right back after the break.